My name is Lonnie Neighbors, and I grew up in a Christian home, and my mom and dad and me and my little brothers, we always went to church, and we always did all that stuff. We weren't like extremely Christian, but we went and we did it. And then I was about 8 years old, and I went to VBS, and I decided I wanted to get saved because it's what everybody else was doing, and my mom and my dad and everybody would be so proud of me. So I did, and then I just realized it wasn't for me and it was for everybody else. And a few years later, I went to this church camp in Ogden, Utah, and we went, and there's this girl, and she was in my cabin, and she got saved, and she was just so happy, and her life was completely turned around, and I was like, why didn't my life change like that, I was the same person and nothing was different. I still did what I wanted, and I still lied to my parents, and I wasn't a bad kid, but I still did everything that I did before, and then I just watched her, and her life had changed dramatically. She was completely different, and it wasn't just for the week that we were there. It was forever. She didn't go back to the things that she did. She just read her Bible, and she never said anything bad about anybody, and she was just changed completely. And then 9/11 came around, and my uncle died the week before the Twin Towers fell. It was pretty dramatic because I'd never told him I loved him because he did bad things, and I didn't think you should tell people that did bad things that you loved them. And he died, and then 9/11 happened, and my dad went to war. And, it was really hard because I felt so bad about not telling him how I felt about him, and maybe I wasn't for sure if he knew God, or I knew that I didn't. I knew that I thought I did, and that I thought I was saved, but I knew deep down that I wasn't. And so we still went to church, and we did that thing, everything we were supposed to. I wasn't sinning bad, I just didn't know him. And my dad came back from the war about 3 years later, and my mom and dad, things weren't working out, and they got divorced. It was pretty bad, and we moved to Oklahoma, and my house had burned down. Everything was just going so badly, and we still, every now and then, not as much as we did before, went to church. And one day I just decided that we were sitting, and they had the thing where you go up in front of the church, and you talk to the pastor, and I was like, well, maybe I should do that, but I just didn't have the guts to do it. So I sat there in the pew for another month or two, and then I finally was like, my life should be like that girl. She was so happy, and I wasn't happy. So I went to the front of the church, and my life was changed completely. I wasn't empty, and I was just happy with who I was and the things that I was doing. So everything's better now that I've God in my life.